Hi there, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Extreme Paint and Body's Sergeant Spray Gun Productions. I hope you enjoy this video.
Hi, welcome to part 2 of painting those flames. Today we're going to be, rather than using respirator and spray gun equipment, we're going to be using masking materials. Fine line tape, blue fine line tape is very important if you want the crisp, clean lines. You don't want to use the skinny, regular yellow masking tape. You won't get crisp, clean lines. So we got our masking stuff here, varying widths and types of tape. We got our panel that we're going to mask off and lay out our graphics. So we're ready to go. I hope you enjoy this part of the video.
Here I am, taping off the graphics. What I did crop out was something you don't want to do, which is apply some tape and then peel it back up. I left out the statement, reapply the tape. I went ahead and did that. Plus I got to crop out quite a bit of this video just so YouTube will take it. Apparently there's a 15-minute limit, so I wasn't aware of that. So after cropping and cropping, I gotta still crop some more. Okay, so here we go. Notice that I've got center reference point, which is that masking tape I just peeled off, along with the masking tape on the back end of the hood. That kind of gives you a center line for the hood if you're trying to get some symmetrical flames. You can go a bit beyond that and make some reference points on the edge of the hood too. I didn't bother taking the time to do that since I'm in quite a bit of a hurry just to get this job taped out and done. Taping out flames can be a bit of a deal to learn. There's a few things that you should know. For example, the flames should always get narrower and narrower towards the tip. You should never have any straight lines in your curves. Each lick should either point towards each other as far as the adjacent licks, or they should point away from each other. You should have no licks that point in the same direction. I need to add that are adjacent to one another. Also, when you're doing your licks, you should never have more than 2 curves in your lick. If you put a third curve in your lick, it'll tend to look like seaweed. So here I am, almost done outlining the licks, the flames. Just whipping something up real quick. If this was an actual real job, I would do this multiple times, giving the customer several examples to choose from so that they can decide whether they like it or not. If they think there's too many licks, not enough licks, if they're too skinny, too fat, they don't go deep enough into the panel, or whatever. Custom work can take quite a bit of time because you've got to figure out what the customer's looking for, and customer satisfaction is job number 1. So here I am, just widening out the masking. As you get wider and wider, it'll be easier and easier to mask off the surrounding areas. You got to start skinny. After this, I'll use a little wider tape, and then wider tape, and then masking paper. Some people use plastic almost primarily. I don't like using plastic because it flutters too much when you spray the panel. I like to keep the plastic at least a good foot away from anything I'm painting. Here I'm putting paper because it's quicker and cheaper. Got to be careful not to overmask and go beyond your thin initial blue fine line tape, or you'll see it in the end product. You've also got to always constantly check that fine line tape. Make sure it's not lifting, getting bubbles, creases, kinks, anything like that. No opens, or we call them leaks. That's where the tape will lift up and you get overspray or unintended spray underneath your masking. Just trying to cover the top of the hood. If it was a real job, I would have masked the bottom of the hood as well, actually, before I even did anything. Cleaning with wax and grease remover, going with the tape, not against it, not across the tape, because you'll lift up an edge and create a line that's not sharp that you're trying to achieve with the masking. I'm sorry, the fine line tape. All the while you're doing that, you need to keep checking your masking, make sure it's holding down. Here's the gold pearl with the intercoat clear. The mid coat, if you will. What I'm going to try to achieve here is get heavier pearl on the front of the hood and taper it out towards the end to where the ends of the licks don't show up quite as well as the front of the hood. That's why I'm just putting a little bit of gold pearl on the front of the hood right now, and I'll step back each step a little bit further each time. It turns out in my opinion, I overdid it just a little bit. It's very easy to do. You can't see it going on. Just got to know what you done, how much is going on. That's where test panels will come in handy. But I'm trying to step it back a little bit where the front of the hood has more gold effect than the end of the licks. Didn't quite achieve that as well as I had hoped for this demonstration. Here I'm trying to taper out the licks. I've hardly put anything at the end of the licks thus far, and they still came out quite visible in the end. A little goes a long ways. It's very easy to get more effect than you're hoping to get. I probably would have been best off stopping right there, but I went ahead and put on a couple more coats. Light coats, that is. You're not trying to get coverage, you're trying to get effect. If you're looking at your masking to see if you're getting coverage or not, then you're probably going to end up applying too much, because this stuff goes on pretty much invisible. And here we're going to get ready to put the clear coat on. I have to apologize that this part of the video has absolutely no sound other than my narration. I changed the battery in my camera, and I forgot that when you do change the battery, it goes to the default setting of no sound. I don't understand that. I don't know why anyone would want to make a video with absolutely no sound unless you're skydiving or something. But a lesson learned on my part, again, with this camera. When I change the battery, I need to make sure that the microphone is on. Be nice if they at least did it the opposite way, where you had to shut the microphone off rather than turn the microphone on. Once again, this is the TechnoPro Lite with the TE20 air cap for clear coat. Up to this point, I used the HV30, which is the HVLP, high volume, low pressure air cap. Putting on a second coat of clear. I ended up with a good bit of clear left over, so I just kept putting clear on, particularly on the graphics, just to help bury them. But I had to crop that out just to get this video under 15 minutes. I accidentally said Facebook when I meant YouTube. The TE20 will put out quite a bit of overspray, but it does spray quite well as far as clear coat goes. I love it. And here it is in the booth. It's not quite dry yet, but it's dry enough. It's right now it's what you call dust free, not tack free. If you touch it, you'll leave a fingerprint. And here it is out in the sun. As you can see, well, in my opinion, I think I did a little too much gold pearl.
Just a little bit.
The ends of the licks. Yeah, the licks don't quite disappear like I was, or at least fade out quite as much as I was hoping for, but yeah. For a demonstration YouTube video using a new camera,